All right, everyone, welcome back to Go Anfield. Listen, the festive period is proper relentless, isn't it? We've got a massive clash with Leeds on the horizon, and Arne Slot is facing a proper head-scratcher with some of our key lads looking a bit leggy. Plus, we're finally seeing some magic from our record signing, but not everyone's convinced just yet. And if that wasn't enough, there's a massive update on a certain center-back that could change everything for our backline this January. We've got loads to get through today, so don't go nowhere. Before we dive into the thick of it, if you want to stay clued up on everything happening with the Reds, make sure you smash that subscribe button and ring the bell. You don't want to be missing out on any of the latest from Reds, do you? Nice one. Right then, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're heading into New Year's Day against Leeds United at Anfield, and Arne Slot has got a proper tactical headache on his hands. Now, we all love Alexis Mac Allister, don't we? The lad's a world-class operator, a World Cup winner, and he's got that never-say-die engine. But listen, even the best of them hit a wall. Against Wolves, he looked absolutely spent. Proper leggy, like he was running through treacle. Slot's been dead honest about it in the pressers. He's admitted he's still managing Macca's minutes after a grueling run of games. You see, the demand on our midfield right now is different than what we were used to under Klopp. Macca himself recently opened up about this in a club interview, and it's fascinating stuff for the tactics nerds among us. Under Jurgen, he was often that lone six, the solitary anchor in a heavy metal system that was all about chaos and directness. It was rock and roll, but it was exhausting. Now, Slot has us playing this more measured 4-2-3-1, or a double pivot if you want to be fancy. Mac has explained that playing with two fives, usually alongside Ryan Gravenberch, actually gives him more freedom to roam. When the ball's on the left, he's the one pushing forward into those half spaces, while Ryan sits back. It's more chess than street fight now. But here's the rub. Even though we're keeping the ball longer and controlling games better, the physical toll of this slot ball is still massive because of the sheer amount of matches in this festive madness. Slot's dilemma for the Leeds game is a big one. Does he risk Macca again, or does he look at the bench? We've seen him experiment with a diamond formation recently, but he's quickly reverted to his trusted setup because it suits the lads better. The problem is, Leeds aren't going to come to Anfield to admire the scenery. They're high energy. They'll press us till their lungs burst. And if our midfield anchor is even 5% off the pace, we're in trouble. The good news? Dominik Szoboszlai is back and hungry. He could easily slot into that number 10 role, allowing Macca to either drop deeper or take a well-earned blow on the bench. We've also got Curtis Jones, who's been boss lately, showing that composure Slot craves. It's a massive call for the gaffer. We need that midfield to be a fortress to protect our backline, especially since our defensive depth is being tested to the limit with some big names linked with a move away, and some new faces potentially coming in to shore things up. Speaking of the backline, there's a proper saga brewing over a certain center back. If you've been following the Reds lately, you know our defensive depth is being tested to the absolute limit. We've had some right bad luck with injuries. Giovanni Leone, the young lad we were all buzzing to see, is out for the season with that ACL injury. Gutted for him, truly. And then you've got Joe Gomez, sidelined with a muscle issue. It leaves us a bit thin, doesn't it? Enter the man of the hour, Marc Guehi. This saga has been going on longer than a rainy Tuesday in Bootle. We all remember that frantic summer deadline day, don't we? Reports from The Athletic and Dave Ockop suggest we were literally minutes away from a $35 million deal. Guehi had even done his medical and was reportedly seen in Liverpool gear. But then, Crystal Palace pulled the plug because they couldn't land a replacement in time. Talk about a heart-and-mouth moment for the lad. Fast forward to now, and Oliver Glasner, the Palace boss, is playing hardball again. He's come out and said, plain as day, that he wants to keep his captain in January. He's calling for stability, especially with Palace fighting their own battles in the league. But here's where it gets interesting. Guehi has already told the Eagles he's not signing a new contract. His current deal runs out in June 2026, which means from the 1st of January he's free to talk to clubs abroad like Bayern Munich or Real Madrid about a pre-contract. Now, Fabrizio Romano has been dropping some bombs, saying Bayern have already met with Guehi's representatives twice. That's a proper worry for us. If we wait until the summer to get him on a free, we might lose him to one of the European giants who can offer him a massive signing-on fee and a guaranteed spot in their X's. Some fans are shouting for us to just pay the tax and bring him in now for a fee. But Arne Slot has been keeping expectations in check. He's mentioned that the club doesn't have unlimited money and that he trusts the lads he's got, like Ibou Konaté and the skip, Virgil van Dijk. But can we really afford to wait? Virgil isn't getting any younger, and with Konaté's contract situation still a bit up in the air, bringing in a ready-made Premier League leader like Guehi feels like a no-brainer. If we're being dead honest, Ibou has been a proper worry lately, hasn't he? We're seeing these systematic errors and a lack of concentration that's been compromising our whole defensive system. We need someone as ice-cool and consistent as Guehi to partner the skip and settle things down. He's got that ice-cool composure, he's a leader, and his character has been praised by everyone after how he handled the summer move falling through. He didn't throw his toys out the pram, he just put his head down and became Palace's best player again. That's exactly the kind of mentality monster we need at Anfield. It's a proper high-stakes game of poker between Richard Hughes and the Palace board. Do we blink first and pay up, or do we risk losing him to Germany or Spain? One thing's for sure, the fans are desperate for some movement. We need that backline to be rock solid if we're going to sustain this title charge. And speaking of title charges, you need your big money players to step up when it matters most. And boy, did we see a glimpse of that recently from our $116 million man who finally silenced a few doubters. Finally, let's talk about the lad everyone's been whispering about since the summer, Florian Wirtz. It's been a long road for our new number 7, hasn't it? 6 months, 23 games. That's how long we had to wait to see him wheeling away in celebration after his first Liverpool goal against Wolves. And listen, you could feel the relief washing over Anfield. It was like a collective exhale from the cop. But because it's the Premier League, even a breakthrough like that doesn't stop the cornetas, the critics, from having a go. Alan Shearer, the league's all-time top scorer, was straight onto it on the Rest is Football podcast. He was winding up the Wolves fans, sure, but he couldn't resist a dig at Wirtz, saying we shouldn't get carried away because it was only Wolves at home. Micah Richards was right there too, saying he'd built Wirtz up to be the signing of the season and was still waiting for that $116 million price tag to actually look like a bargain. Now, look, I get where they're coming from. When you spend over $100 million on a player, you expect him to be hitting the ground running like Mo Salah did. But Wirtz isn't that kind of boom-bust player. Statistically, even before this goal, he was quietly doing the work. In that Wolves game alone, he had a 9-10 rating on FotMob, created the most chances on the pitch, and completed 7 out of 8 dribbles. He's not just a goal scorer, he's the architect. He's the one finding those tiny gaps between the lines that Slot is obsessed with. What's really exciting, though, is the connection he's forging with Hugo Ekitike. Shearer actually admitted he was impressed by that. There's a proper understanding growing there, the way they look for each other, the little flicks, the weighted passes. It's starting to look ominous for the rest of the league. Wirtz himself was dead humble after the game, admitting he wanted to start scoring and assisting much earlier, but he knew it would come if he kept the faith. He's only 22, remember? He's still learning the pace of the English game, which is worlds away from the Bundesliga. Slot has been using him as the main number 10 in that 4-2-3-1, and you can see the team's attack starting to tilt around him. When Wirtz plays well, the whole front four functions at a different level. He's the glue. So, while the pundits might want to downplay it because it was against bottom-of-the-table Wolves, we know the quality is there. That goal could be the spark that ignites his whole Liverpool career. It's been a proper roller coaster of a week for the Reds, from midfield fatigue and defensive sagas to record-breaking breakthroughs. But what do you lot think? Is Wirtz finally ready to take over the league, or are Shearer and Richards right to be skeptical? And what about that defense? Should we be breaking the bank for Marc Guehi in January to fix those Konaté lapses? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get a proper debate going. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed the breakdown. Up the Reds!